For anyone who's ever moved to a new country, you know that homesickness feels like a given. It's kind of this silent tax you pay for a shot at a different life. We tell ourselves it's this heavy stone in our chest and that, eventually it'll get lighter. But what happens when it doesn't?
So, let's start with this really profound question. What if that place you're dreaming about, that home you're aching for, has changed? Or maybe even more to the point, what if you've changed so much that you wouldn't even fit in there anymore?
Yeah, that heavy stone feeling. For a lot of people, that stone doesn't lift. It actually gets heavier, like it's settling in for good. And that's our first big clue that we might be dealing with something a little deeper than just missing our old neighborhood.
And that brings us to the core question here. Are we talking about homesickness, or is it actually depression? It's so important to know the difference, because if you're waiting for a plane ticket to cure you, and that's not the right medicine, you might be waiting for a really long time to feel better.
Okay, so first let's unpack the key psychological difference. We're gonna call it the nostalgia trap, and it really gets at how joy itself can just get lost.
This is such a great way to see it. With homesickness, you can still picture yourself being happy. That happiness is just tied to a place. It's like, I'd be happy if I were home. But with depression, the actual ability to feel joy feels like it's gone. Even the thought of going home doesn't bring any relief. It just feels empty.
This inability to feel pleasure actually has a clinical name, Anhedonia. And I love this analogy for it. It's like your brain's own circuit breaker. The emotional load of the move, all the stress, the loss, the constant newness. It just gets to be too much and your brain flips a switch to protect itself.
And that's what makes it so insidious. Depression is basically a thief. It doesn't just steal the joy from your new life. It actually reaches back in time and messes with your happy memories of your old one. All of a sudden, nothing feels good, and you're left feeling completely disconnected from everything.
So this is the really tough, introspective question you have to ask yourself. Is your sadness really about a specific place? Or is it possible you've forgotten how to feel at home inside your own skin, no matter where in the world you are?
And listen, this is not just a battle you're fighting in your mind. This feeling builds up, and after a while, your body starts sending out its own serious red alerts.
I mean, just think about it. As an immigrant, your brain is working overtime all day, every day. You're navigating new rules, a new language, new social cues. Your nervous system has been on high alert for months, maybe even years. That survival mode just isn't sustainable. Eventually, you're gonna crash.
And here's what that crash can look like. We're not talking about just being tired. We're talking about that deep, paralyzing exhaustion where you sleep for 10 hours and you wake up feeling like you got 2. Or, the opposite, lying awake at 3 a.m. with your mind racing. You lose your appetite, not because the food is weird, but because just deciding what to eat feels like an impossible task. This isn't just you being sad. This is a full-on neurological red alert.
So, when you're that exhausted, physically and mentally, how does it affect how you act? Well, over time, it can pull you into something called the isolation spiral.
And there's a common timeline for this. The first few months are all adrenaline. You're just too busy setting up your life to really feel the full weight of it all. But then, somewhere around that 6-month or 1-year mark, the adrenaline runs out. And that's the slump. That's the danger zone, where the risk of just withdrawing from everyone skyrockets.
And here's the crucial thing to understand. Isolation is the fuel for depression's fire. When you start turning down invitations, not because you're busy, but because the idea of being social feels like climbing a mountain, you are actively feeding the very thing that's making you feel bad.
This feeling is captured just perfectly by this quote. It's not just about feeling like an outsider in a new country, it's about feeling like an alien in your own body. You're just floating between two worlds, not really belonging to either one, just stuck in this awful gray zone.
Okay, I know if any of this is hitting home, it can feel pretty overwhelming. So the most important question is, what now? Let's talk about the path forward, because there is one.
The very first step, and honestly the most important one, is to get this straight in your head. This is a medical condition. It is a predictable response to one of the most stressful experiences a human being can go through. It is not, and I'll say it again, it is not a character flaw or a sign of weakness.
You wouldn't try to just tough out a broken leg while building a new life, would you? So please, don't try to tough this out. The way forward can start with a really low-energy routine. First, just acknowledge it, give it a name. Second, start incredibly small. 5 minutes of sunlight on your face can be a massive victory. And third, if you can, seek out specific help. Look for someone who gets the unique pressures that expats and immigrants deal with.
And remember this, moving to a new country is a fundamentally brave thing to do. But sometimes, the absolute bravest part of that journey is just admitting that it has taken way more out of you than you ever thought it would. That admission is not failure, it is pure courage.
So we'll end with this question. We've talked about anhedonia, the survival slump, the calendar trap. Think for a second about the people in your life who are also living far from where they started. Who do you know who might be struggling in silence, simply because they don't have the words to describe what's happening to them?